All right, tonight we're going to explore around a couple of chord voicings that I use real frequently. One of the things I really hate on the 12 string is having to play bar chords. When you have to play bar chords, even tuned down, I tuned down about a half step just to reduce some string tension and just to give a little more bass response out of the instrument. But playing bar chords, no, they just suck. They hurt your hand. I've been playing for 45 years and still don't like playing bar chords on a 12 string. Plus you lose the real zing of the chord when you're playing, because you like these nice open zingy chords just really ring. So I've kind of developed a way of playing around the bar chords and to get to different voicings, and it's a pretty simple way to do it. The thing is, you end up coloring the chords with some additional notes that are normally not part of the triad. If that's new to you, the term triad, there's all kinds of music theory videos out there, but basically every major chord is built off of a scale. So if you're playing in the key of C, for example, you'd start C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, go up the scale. If you skip your other note, you form a triad. C, skip D, E, that's the third, skip the fourth, that's F, and then G. So C, E, and G together make a C chord. And so if you play just a standard grip of a C chord, the only notes that are ringing in there are C, E, and G. There's just several. In this case, I'm using the pinky in here so I can play a full 6-string chord. I've got a G, a C, an E, a G, a C, and an E. So I've just doubled up some notes, but it's just those 3 notes. Now, when we add additional notes in, like if we take that C, E, G, and we add in an A into it, well, then it's going to make a 6th. And you can have sevenths and major sevenths and dominant sevenths and a bunch of other different types of chords. That's where the names of the chords come from. Tonight, we're not so worried about the music theory, but it's just giving you some useful grips that you can use. I'm going to start off with a basic. This is just a G chord. We'll start here with this one. And some people call this a G5. You hear this in country music a lot. It's basically, I'm just going to talk you through where the notes go. My second finger on my left hand is going to reach all the way over and hit this low G up here on the 3rd fret of the top pair of strings. Next pair, I'm going to play the B right here. So that's on the 2nd fret. I'm going to skip the middle strings, and I'm going to put my 3rd finger down on this D, which is on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And then the last pair, down the very bottom, I'm going to put my pinky in there. So I'm going to have 3, 2, open, 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 3, 3. So that's my frets. That's a chord you've probably used a lot already. And you may have experimented around, already discovered that you can take this chord and just move the top 2 fingers down 1 string. So now my finger is on the 3rd fret of the 5th string pair, and the index finger is on the 4th string on the 2nd fret. This creates what's called a C add 9. Some people call it a C major 9. Some people call it a C sus2, suspended 2nd. A lot of songs use something like that, and it's real pretty. Okay. Now I'm going to add, just keep going that same direction. We're moving our first 2 fingers towards the floor, so from the top string to the next string, I'm going to do the same thing and go down 2 more strings. So now I'm covering the bottom 4 strings. My 3rd and 4th finger are holding the D and the G here respectively, okay, on the 3rd fret. Okay, my index finger is going to hold down the A on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string pair. And then I'm going to take my middle finger and I'm going to put it on this F on the 4th string on the 3rd fret. This technically creates what's called an F6-9 because it has the 6th note of the scale and the 9th note of the scale. So if you're playing in the key of C, for example, there's a lot of chord progressions that run around what's called the 1, 4, and 5 progression. So in this case, if I count up in the key of C, C is the 1, D, E, F is the 4th, and the 5th is the G chord. So normally people play C. Think of how many songs you play that are C, F, C, G, something like that. So let's add a little more interest into it by keeping these fingerings that I'm using. So the C, which I'm going to play as a C add 9. Then I'm going to switch to the F chord, which I'm just going to drop down to. And then go back to C, and then G. Now if I'm finger picking this, I can make some real pretty, interesting stuff. You see, as I shifted through there, these two fingers stayed in the same position all the way through. Take my tune in real quick. Something was out just a little bit there I could hear. There we go. Now, once I've got this position here, I'm avoiding playing bar chords. I don't have to play G as a bar chord. I don't have to play F as the bar chord. Now I can move these chords around. Now let's go up here to the 6th fret. Okay, this is going to make an A7-9. Okay, that's a very open, almost ambiguous sounding chord. When you finger pick it, it makes some pretty cool sounds. Let's take that, follow that same pattern. I'm going to move this down. Now I've got a D with a 4th in there. So it's a D suspended 4th, and I've got an E in here on the 5th fret. So I've got a suspended 4th and a 9th in there, or a suspended 2nd. Makes a pretty cool sound. Now I can go down to that 4th fret, that same shape. Okay, now I've got my root note is a G, so I've got a G, B, an E, and an A. So I have a G6-9. Okay, let's move this pattern up to the 8th fret. So my 2nd finger, middle finger, is up on the 8th fret. I'm playing that G chord shape. Now I've got a C in here, and in that there's my 4th string is open, and that's a ringing as a D. So that's a C add 9, which is basically just another voicing of this chord. Now let's drop this finger here towards the floor there. So now I'm holding the 5th fret, not 5th fret, but the 5th string on the 8th fret. So now I've got an F in here, and I've got a G in here and another G. So now I've got an F add 9, or an F sus 2. Real pretty. Let's drop down towards the floor one more. Shift my fingers down, so now my root note is on the 4th string. Okay, and so there, I've got a C. Where am I at here? I've got a B flat. You ever have to play a song, you play a B flat, and you've got a bar down here where the string tension is the highest? Oh my gosh, it hurts. Okay, and it doesn't sound good. You lose the ring. So come up here to the 8th fret. Get somebody to strum a basic B flat chord and strum this against it. And so what you've got here is a B flat 6-9. So now I can finger pick this. So I can do something real cool there. Take it up to the 10th fret, same pattern. So here I have a D, and in the middle of this I've got this ringing G chord, a G string, D suspended. That's basically, get somebody to play this chord, the D suspended, and you play this one. They're gonna sound great together. again, I'm going to drop down one towards the floor, move my finger down. Okay. Now I've got a G with an A ringing on the second string. G add 9. Come down one more. Okay. Now I've got a C add 9. So now I could go. Get somebody to play this chord progression with just a straight G. Fill in beautifully. You're going to create this little chiming melody on top of these real basic vanilla chords down here. So again, all that is just a basic G chord shape, and I'm moving the top 2 fingers from the 6th and the 5th down to the 5th and the 4th, and then to the 4th and the 3rd. I've written whole songs around this. We'll explore, you can create really good melodies just by changing your finger picking pattern. And then next time we'll explore basically how to take some of these and then just do some. Show you how to turn some of those into different chords using just extending your fingers out. Adding in some extra notes so you can create some melodies out of it. Thanks for watching. That's all for now. Bye-bye.